Today I'd like to talk about how to eliminate the possibility of wasting time. One less thing to worry about if we can solve this one. But first let's figure out what it is we're trying to solve here. First of all, how do you waste your time? Well, it's kind of obvious, I guess. You do something that is undesirable or less desirable or less needed than something else that you might have done. And so, but why would you waste your time if you know what it is that the things that you might do? Why would you waste your time in the first place? Well, we might have to do something that we don't really want to do, or maybe feel that we need to do, but somebody else is making us do it or something like that. So we feel like not only am I possibly wasting my own time, but somebody else is wasting my time to a certain extent. They are compelling me to waste my time. And again, they're compelling me to do something that I don't want to do and I don't feel that I really need to do. And so then the key perhaps question that we need to look at as well is, when can we waste time? Uh, you know, if I'm wasting my time right now, then maybe there's something I can do about it. Maybe I can, if the thing that I'm doing in the current moment, when I'm thinking about wasting time and suffering the idea that I'm wasting my time with what I'm doing right now, again, maybe I'll just stop doing what I'm doing, right? Unless someone is making me do it. But are they really making you do it? Do they have a gun to your head? Or is it something that you have your own agenda for doing what they want you to do? You have some reason for being compelled that's not life and death. It's some kind of relationship, perhaps, that you have with this other person or this other organization. Maybe it's who you work for, has some requirements of you to do something that, again, you feel like it's a waste of time. You've made some kind of a judgment against the activity, or you've made some kind of comparison. I'll just quickly say that there was a time in my life when I knew down to the exact detail what it was that I enjoyed the most. It was windsurfing in high wind. It had to be fairly strong, in large breaking surf, where I was windsurfing out towards, away from the beach, towards the face of the wave. And it was that exact moment where I made the decision whether I was going to turn onto the face of that wave and surf down it, or continue up the face of that wave to jump over it and soar over the water, and which we call, the wave jumping. So that exact moment was the most thrilling and most wonderful moment that I could imagine and that I would seek, because I loved both surfing the face, carving onto the face, was pulling G's and having fun on the board, and jumping was a wonderful. And so I had that split-second moment of choice that would be between two of my most favorite experiences, and everything else in my life paled by comparison. At that stage of my life, I was such a windsurfing fanatic, and I was living in that mode of life where I was sourcing all my happiness, my joy, my excitement from my circumstances, from the outside world. Well, if you've seen some of my other videos, then you know I don't live that way anymore. I've sourced my joy, my bliss from my internal world and my energies, the way I see the world and whatnot. I bring that with me wherever I go. So when it comes to wasting time, the only way I could waste time is to decide that I'm wasting time. And I think that's really true for all of us. Can you really waste time? Is there a time that you can waste other than this current moment in time? And if you suddenly think to yourself, oh, what I'm doing right now is just wasting my time, I invite you to look a little bit deeper into the situation that you're in. If you're doing something that is not required, stop. Don't do it. But if you look a little bit deeper and see, yeah, there are enough reasons for doing what I'm doing right now. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So it's not a waste of my time. I've got a relationship to uphold here. I've got goals for this relationship. I'm going to make money doing what I'm doing right now. There's some good reason for doing it, hopefully. If there isn't, stop. Don't do it. Do something you love to do instead. And so I'm not going to talk about right livelihood right now. I'm not going to talk about those things. But if you've already come to a decision to do what you're doing in this moment, do it joyfully and forget about the idea that you can waste your time. These are the kinds of thoughts that through the practice of meditation and mindfulness, we can be aware of these destructive thoughts, these thoughts that are really ruining our lives, to think about wasting time. So don't waste your time right now. Don't do it. If you don't like this video, shut me off. Do something else. Now, what about wasting time other than what we're doing right now? We can't do it if we think about something that we did in the past and we say, darn it, yesterday I wasted so much of my time. I had to do this, I had to do that, then I had to do that. It didn't go the way I hoped it would, and so I'm going to have to redo it. It was just a waste of time. What time am I wasting now? I'm wasting my time thinking about wasting my time. I'm reliving my past, ruining my present with the notion of wasting time. So it's sad but laughable at the same time. I mean, isn't it absurd? If you don't resonate with this, then hopefully you've shut me off by now and you've gone on to a different video or some other activity that you enjoy better. Well, can you waste your time in the future? I hope not. I mean, if you're worried about your future being a waste of time, it's the same thing that I've already been talking about, isn't it? I think we've covered the bases here on wasting time, and I hope that you can resonate with this teaching enough to give it some thought and meditate, practice mindfulness so you can actually notice when you're thinking about wasting time and see if you can release that thought and come back to this abundantly blissful current moment that you can live in, the only moment that is really available to you. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe so you'll find out when I post new videos. And let your friends know if you enjoy these videos that they might just like to try them out themselves. Thanks a lot.